I don't know what happened to my other version of my review right here, but it had really laggy stuff, and I did not approve of it. So we're gonna redo the review. So this is my TS Underswap Merciless route slash No Mercy route video. We're gonna be talking about the time I did the No Mercy route, which shouldn't be, that crazy, to be honest with you. It should be like, well, not okay. To try to sum it up, right? So, in my last video of this, since this is kind of like a mini series in itself with how many reviews I've done on the game, the same game, because I don't think I did like many reviews on each of the routes. Let me see my camera again. Let's see if it's going bad. I don't think I did like. There you go. So much better now. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I want to bring up the No Mercy route that I did. So basically, to sum it up, I'm going to try to speed through this as much as I can because I don't want this review being long either. I kind of want to go game or do something else, right? So I complained very heavily a lot in my last review of this because in my dark neutral slash neutral video, I talked about how I really disliked TS Underswap's version of neutral, where you have to murk everybody in Ruin Home, right? You have to murk everybody there, and then not really murk as many people or some of the people in, Starlight freaking Forest or Starlight Isles or wherever the location was, right? And I said I didn't like this approach because I said, well, at that point, if I'm murking everybody in Ruined Home, right, the first area of the game, I might as well murk everybody in the second area too. Which, this is why I say, if you do neutral into Geno, or Geno into neutral, regardless, the playthrough is going to feel a little repetitive because basically you have to do the same thing you did all over again, right? In Ruined Home. You have to murk everybody in Ruined Home. Now, you can choose to leave Asgore alive or murk him if you want, but in this Ruthless route, you're sparing nobody. So, in turn, or you can actually leave, I think you can leave Asgore alive, I think in the Ruthless route, because you you murdered everybody but only spared him, so it's just kind of weird. But anyways, you can do that. I think that's an option or a choice, right? So, you do that, but then you get to like the forest and stuff, and this is where the new stuff kind of comes in, the new gameplay, and basically you just murk everybody in Snowden, right? You attempt to murk everybody in Snowden, and I'm even gonna show you guys my playthrough of it all because it is quite interesting how like the differences, right? Because Asgore No Mercy, right? We made it there at like 42 minutes. It wasn't like the craziest fight, if I remember correctly. It was something for sure, right? It was very different. Asgore is very pissed at us, right? For murking everybody. That is something that's truth. His moves are pretty much different. It's a whole thing, right? Temmie says the same thing. Starlight Isles, right? So for most of Starlight Isles, it kind of mostly goes the same. You murk, by the way, welcome, QB or Chubby's Gorilla or Chubbiest the Gorilla. Welcome. So basically, for most of the game, it is the same. You murk everybody you see inside, right? Then you get to Muffet, and this is where things get interesting because before Muffet, you have very interesting slash unique dialogue with Sans and Papyrus because they're actually talking with each other, saying, Papyrus, they murdered a lot of people, dude. Like they murked a lot of people. Like Papyrus, they murked a lot. And when I say a lot, I don't mean like very little. I mean a lot, right? Actually, throughout most of this playthrough too, the subtle differences, right, is Sans actually saves people. He saves some of the monsters from the human kid, right? And Sans even gets in front of the human trying to protect Boogie and or Harry and Larry, like those homies. So that was a whole thing, right? But back to what I was doing about the Muppet fight, back to what I was saying there, is this is what I find very interesting. In the dark neutral, if you try to Merc Muff it, I think Sans saves her or something, or Sans I think either saves her regardless, right? Like when you get close to, or maybe you Merc her. I can't remember because it's been like 9 days since then. Oh, you actually do Merc her in this version, but then the other two just kind of run away. Okay, so that's a little interesting. But anyways, so I think I was thinking of dark neutral or something. But basically, one of the darkest things I would argue about this route is the boss fight between Harry and Larry, right? This fight. Okay, but anyways, we can skip their dialogue, right? This is what I said is probably one of the most darkest Undertale fights in the entire game. Because we can spare them right here if we wanted to. Right? And you can see Harry and Larry, they're scared of us. The human, they're scared of us because they could easily be murked by us and stuff. And they heard the stories of what we did. Right? I didn't get it at first until somebody told me in chat what I needed to do. Right? And then somebody told me in chat, you need to go to act and push Larry off the ledge. Now, look at my face. I have never seen an Undertale fan game get that dark. Now, keep in mind, right? Undertale's Geno route / No Mercy, Merciless route, that's dark to begin with, where you're going around murking everybody, right? But usually the way they go about it is they just bring a weapon and they hit them really hard, really fast, and it's over. There's no, like, other methods of murking the monsters, really. It's all the same way in regular Undertale. And I can't say anything for Undertale Yellow yet because I haven't done that route in Undertale Yellow. But seeing that TS Underswap decided to go a more darker route, right? And decides to push Larry, in order to finish this fight, you have to push Larry off the ledge, right? Seeing that in an Undertale fan game, that shit crushed me, dude. Because keep in mind, I like Harry and Larry. I really do. They are actually really cool characters that TS Underswap added that are unique to this game and only this game, right? I really love their characters. So seeing, like, Larry after he got pushed off and seeing how Harry reacted, like, he just doesn't even fight anymore. He just sits there mourning his friend until the very end was easily one of the darkest things I've seen in an Undertale fan game. And what the hell are you talking about? This is an audience. You are my favorite gay streamer. God bless you. I'm not even gay, but thanks anyway? I don't know. But yeah, I remember my mouth was just open for that entire bit for a ridiculous amount of time. Because I couldn't believe an Undertale fan game would go that far. And I think we did nearing end of the game, No Mercy Sans fight.
I know they pissed each other off a lot, but bro, man, you can tell they love each other, man.
Yeah, see, I was feeling bad for Harry and Larry.
Nah, I'm not crying for those guys, dude. I almost teared up for them, dude. They did not deserve that shit.
No one does. Oh yeah, but this part where Sans does all this, look, check this out. I love this, right? Sorry for not talking. I'm just trying to get the right part on. But you're like, okay, no Sans fight, bet. Yeah, even I'm like, what the fuck?
Or me going somewhere.
I love how Sans grabs you like that, slams you down.
I wonder if you thought you were in the clear.
words earlier didn't mean a thing. Because you knew I'd show up here either way. But hey, I got the drop on you anyways. Was it enough of a score, a final threat? Something to keep this from escalating even further? And maybe, just maybe, you'll think about what you... Ah, hell, who am I talking to? Right? And I'm not gonna lie, bro. The fight with Crossbones, I might have to show you better footage than mine for the Crossbones fight, but dude, the Crossbones fight during Genocide was really fucking good. Like, hold on, let me find the Genocide Sans fight really quick. It was ridiculously good. And I mean it in every sense of the word. It was good. Because keep in mind, right, I love Sans fights. But, excuse me, I love Sans fights that feel fair, right? And what I mean by fair is not necessarily like fair as in like, you know, because regular Sans' thing is he's supposed to break all the constructs and the confines of the game in general. He's a cheater. He wants you to quit, right? But I love a good Sans fan fight that just feels fair with everything that it does. Like, for example, bone patterns aren't ridiculously fast to the point that you can't see them coming, or Gaster Blaster patterns that aren't impossible to tell or predict, or, you know, whatever you want to see. And it's just so beautiful each and every single time I see it. And I wanted to emphasize this by showing you the fight. The music in the background for this piece was so good. You jump into the bone attacks and stuff. You constantly trying to hit him. In my prime, I aspire. And then you hear all his dialogue. Him talking about how he hates you. How he wants to murk you. And I'm like, you know what? If this was Geno Sans as well, like in regular Undertale, I could actually see it being his fight, minus the superhero clothing and shit, like the move that he's pulling off and stuff. I can genuinely see this being a part of like regular Sans' shit. Like I can actually see it. And honestly, I think I like this version of the Sans fight more than like the neutral version, because I remember I talked about the neutral fight, which I said it was good. I did say it was good. But when you see the Genocide version, bro, which is a little bit better than the neutral version of it, right? You know, and don't get me wrong, the neutral version of this fight is very good. But for some reason, just fighting Sans in Genocide, because that's how you fight Sans originally in the base game, just feels so much better. And honestly, I would still argue that Pacifist is still the best version of the fight because of how the theme is and how unique it is and how cool the environment is and how it feels and stuff, right? Like in terms of like overall not being Omega difficult, but at the same time, you know, just being a good like good feely fight, while this one's supposed to be like a good, like, in terms of, like, the challenge and overall difficulty of the fight. And you can see the moves being so different, so chaotic. The music being so good in the back. Like, I just gotta glaze Sans. This fight is so fucking good. And again, it isn't just because it's Genocide and you know how people are with Sans fights and how crazy they get over them. This move right here was really good. I love how unique this one was. Like, it's so fucking good. God, it's so good. I just have to glaze this fight. The music's perfect. Everything in this fight is perfect. And then even how he makes you think, too, later in the fight when he starts revealing all this random sphere about him being a time traveler, him being this and that and whatever. And you're supposed to either take it with a grain of salt or you, like, fully believe in him on the thing. And I love how in the end, you don't even get to kill Sans. This is the really cool thing, right? Sans is giving up, right? Like, skipping the fight, you finally end it, and then you're like, oh, we killed Sans, no way, but then you realize you cut a cardboard cutout and he got away. I won. And I don't know why. And basically, that's like the end of the game right there. But I love the fact that Sans, right? The whole idea of him being a time traveling genocidal maniac or whatever the heck you want to call it or go about it with, he basically is in a lot of ways like, or not Sans himself, but you are the genocidal maniac. But Sans is literally, yeah, this Sans right here, he's a time traveler, I think. I genuinely believe he's a time traveler that doesn't belong to the TS Underswap universe. I genuinely believe that. After Sans said it, I think he's onto something. You know, trying to find a universe or a timeline where he can be genuinely safe and not necessarily like murdered each and every single time. I think he's a Sans that's been through the thick and thin of Geno routes, and he's just trying to find a peaceful way to go home or a peaceful way to go about things. I think that's what he's trying to do. And I think after that last teleport, and this is just a theory, I'm not sure if it's confirmed by this point, because who knows, maybe when TS Underswap gets finished by Team Switched, maybe, you know, they'll have an explanation for where Sans went in the Geno route if we ever do get one. I think, this is just a theory of mine, like I said, I think Sans actually teleported away and he went to another timeline, but left his crossbones stuff there, left everything there in that timeline. Or maybe, because eventually we are going to get the full package and maybe see Papyrus in the Judgment Hall, or maybe we'll see Sans again in the Judgment Hall and he'll give us a really extreme fight for all we know. Right? But again, it's all up to speculation on that. And did I have fun with my Geno route? Yes, I did. I had more fun in my Geno route this time around in comparison to my regular Undertow Geno route, because obviously what you can do is you can go in the extras and make it like extremely easy if you want. You can make it extremely difficult if you want. So, and I toned it down to make it a little bit easier because I'm obviously kind of tired of like, you know, Sans fights and a lot of other things just murking me right out the gate. So I wanted my TS Underswap experience in all three routes to be a little bit easier than, like, you know, the original Undertale, or just easier in general, just so I can have a more fun and enjoyable time instead of just bitching all the time or something that things are too hard or whatever the fuck, you know, it's a whole thing, right? And, but yeah, I honestly it felt really awesome doing like the dark neutral but also the Geno route in the same day, because a part of me was like, as well, I was kind of getting tired of, you know, TS Underswap and kind of just being like, you know what, I don't want to do dark neutral, right, and then come back like 5 to 6 months later and do the Geno route for this game, for TS Underswap. Since it's the shorter game, it's the shorter thing, fuck it. You know what? I want to go ahead and I want to just do the Geno route now and just make it easier on me just in general and all that other sort of stuff. You know, whatever. I don't care. You know? And I just did the route, and Lord and behold, after the Crystal Caves and stuff, that was the end of the game. And to be honest, I think my favorite route in TS Underswap is still Pacifist, because I honestly generally just prefer Pacifist out of all the three routes. I still prefer like the canon ending compared to the other two. I'm very grateful that, you know, TS Underswap allows us to go through all three of these routes and have multiple different files, so that way you don't screw over one file over the other, and it's a whole thing, so I'm thankful for that. But I'm also like still kind of pet peeved, and I hope they change this in the future, so that way a future version of TS Underswap can get maybe get an update where you don't have to murk everybody in Ruined Home, so you can do the neutral a lot better or a lot easier, or evacuation a lot easier. And I get it, it does make it different from other Undertale fan games, but for me personally, it's a real pet peeve of mine, and I hope they change that one day. And if they don't, I don't know how to feel about that, especially if I come back to this game when it's fully finished, and, you know, it's still not patched out, or it's still not a little different or something. I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind ever since I started playing, but with this route, like I said, I had to murk everyone anyway, so it just didn't matter to me. I still murked everybody, and or most people or most of the monsters, you know, in the underground in TS Underswap. And honestly, I am kind of sad to kind of leave that game off on a genocide, because usually I like leaving Undertale fan games or Undertale games in the pacifist way of things, where, you know, I just like leaving a good trail, a good path, a good journey behind me, instead of a path, or instead of you know the deal, instead of a goddamn hate filled, anger filled, like rage filled or disaster along my wake. I'd rather leave a good impact. But anyways, seriously though, to end this video off on ending this video off, go play TS Underswap by Team Switched. It is a really good Undertale fan game. It deserves a lot more love than it already has. It deserves the world. It's honestly a lot better than a lot of other things. Yes, I love Mario. I wear a freaking Wario cap every day, and I have a Mario poster right there, and I have over 200 Mario videos. I love Mario. But anyways, I'm gonna go see you guys later. I'm gonna, yeah, go play it. It's void approved. Oh my god. But seriously, go play TS Underswap. It's great. All three routes of the game are fantastic. I'm gonna go play some Super Mario Brothers, because I'm feeling some Mario right now after somebody said it, and as you know, as well as I want to go play some fucking Mario. But anyways, I'll catch you motherfuckers in the next one, man. Peace out.